In this video, I'll explain how you can optimize the quality of your videos while recording with your smartphone without any further camera equipment. Hello everyone, my name is Tim and I'll be the host of today's video. In this video, I'm going to give you a bunch of practical tips on how you can become the Steven Spielberg on smartphone. So let's get started. Okay, so tip number one, which sounds very straightforward, but make sure you clean your lenses. It will be such a shame if you recorded all of your shots and you see all kinds of blurry spots on your footage. Just grab a clean towel or your shirt and just wipe the lenses before you start recording. So tip number two is turn on airplane mode. You don't want to get distracted by any phone calls or any messages, and sometimes when you receive a call, the phone will even stop recording at all, so that's just wasted footage. So either turn off the notifications or turn on the airplane mode. Tip number three, check your storage before you start recording. It would be such a shame if you recorded something very cool and your phone says I don't have enough room, so make sure you make enough room before you start recording and it will save you a lot of issues. Tip number four is decide for yourself what the goal of the video is. It might sound a little straightforward, but the better you prepare yourself for the video, the more likely you will create a better video. Just ask yourself, do you need to create a little shot list or a script, or is the video going to be on social media? What kind of dimensions does the video need to have? Simply ask yourself questions like that and you will have a better direction for the video. Tip number five is optimize the internal camera settings. Depending on your phone's capabilities and storage room, you can up the resolution and frames per second in the camera settings. I'll show you how you can do this on your iPhone. Just hop over to your general settings and search for camera in the search option. Then when camera pops up, click on camera. Then you can change the formats and some other things. If you click on the record video option, you will see a list of resolution and FPS options. 4K at 60 FPS is the highest, but remember, as it says below on the list, the higher the quality, the more room it will ask for, so take that into consideration. Tip number six, position your phone correctly. Assuming you don't have any tripods around you, make sure you get creative with the things you have. If you're recording yourself, grab some books or something your phone can lean against and make sure it's stable enough. And make sure your phone is in proportion if it's horizontally or vertically. Make sure it's not tilted. And if you're recording yourself, make sure you get a background that doesn't distract the audience. You can get a plain background like this one so you keep the focus on the subject, which is me in this case. But if you're recording in a living room or outside, make sure the subject in the video is distinguishable from the background, and that the background is not overwhelming the viewer. It's always nice to have something in the back, but make sure it complements the subject and the context of the video. Tip number seven is to keep the subject in focus. Most phones have autofocus nowadays, but you can't rely on it too much because sometimes when you film, it focuses on something in the background and it takes the attention off the subject. Obviously, the subject will look a little blurry and it could look unprofessional. I'll show you how you can manually focus on your subject. It's very straightforward, but simply click on the subject you want to focus on. So bottom line is, make sure you keep the subject in focus and make sure you keep it in focus throughout the entire recording. Okay, now to tip number eight, apply the rule of thirds. In photography, this is a well-known composition guideline that a lot of photographers, but also filmmakers, use in their footage. You basically use a grid to position the subject on the screen. This could help to make it more aesthetically pleasing and just look more natural. Most phones have that capability and you can simply just turn it on and off in your camera settings. I'm applying the rule myself because my eyes are on the second line of the horizontal bar in the grid. This means that 2/3 of the screen is below my eyes and 1/3 is above my eyes. Otherwise my eyes would be too low or just too high and it just looks a little bit funny. This way it just looks more natural. Up to tip number nine, keep breathing room in your recordings. Make sure you keep enough room to crop your footage and trim your footage. Let's say you record a video for YouTube and you want to record it horizontally like this one, but you want to use a part of the footage for an Instagram reel or a TikTok or Instagram story. You gotta make it 9:16. So make sure you keep enough room for yourself so you can crop it and the subject is in the frame. So just leave some room around it. And also, if you're recording your video, make sure you leave some room before you start speaking and after you stopped speaking, because then you leave enough room to trim it if you want to. And that way, if you create multiple shots, it's just better to edit it that way. It's just a little bit more smoother and more professional. It's not really as choppy, so make sure you keep that into consideration. Tip number 10 is stabilizing your phone. Try to reduce as much shakiness as possible while you record your footage. If your phone has that capability, make sure you turn on the internal stabilization in your camera settings. But let's say you don't have that option and you just want to record like a landscape video or something that moves around. I have a great tip for you, but you're gonna look like a T-Rex a little bit, so try to be creative with that. But just hold your phone with two hands and place your elbows against your body and just move your arms or your body around as you film. If you film like you want to create a selfie or something, I mean, a second hand will cover the front camera, so that's not really that good. So just hold your phone with one hand and try to extend your arm as much as possible. The reason why it's so far away is that the closer you film yourself, the more you will see the shakiness. It's just magnifying because it's so close. So just extend your arm and try to reduce moving your wrist around too much when you move around. Rather, just move your arm around so you keep it as stable as possible. Tip number 11, illuminate the subject. Great lighting makes for a good video no matter what camera you're using. Just make sure the subject is clearly visible and distinguishable from the background when it comes to lighting. Assuming you don't have any lighting equipment around the house, just make sure you grab some lamps that you can use. Choose one of those lamps as a key light that will illuminate the subject fully, and just experiment with the positioning and the positioning of the subject while you prepare for your shots. Tip number 12, using the exposure option on your phone. You can artificially up the exposure levels on your phone if your phone has that capability. It will increase or decrease the illumination in the frame and compensate the lighting a little bit. I'm sure a lot of phones can do this, but I'll show you how you can do this on your iPhone. When you record your video, make sure you hold your finger on the screen until it says AE/AF lock and then swipe up or down to increase or decrease the exposure. Make sure you don't overdo this, because if you up the exposure too much, your footage will become too saturated and too pixelated, and that will just ruin the footage. So make sure you keep that into consideration. Tip number 13, try to make the lighting in the frame as natural and balanced as possible. Obviously this completely depends on the context of the video, but if you're filming yourself and you want to be visible, just ask yourself the questions: is the lighting too bright or is the lighting too dark? For instance, in my early streaming days, I just used to film myself with one lamp and it was just way too bright on my face. So things that really helped me out, because I was next to like a white wall, I just let the lighting ricochet on the wall onto my face. It just made things a lot better, and eventually I grabbed some more lighting to compensate with that light so it doesn't look like a spotlight. So like I said, depending on the context of your video, try to experiment with it, try to use the lights and try to use one key light to illuminate the subject and the rest to compensate with that lighting. For instance, you can create a setting where the lights are pretty much equal on your face, pretty much like this video because I have lighting on each side of the camera. But let's say you want to create more depth on your subject, like I did in this example. You can just turn one light off or absolutely low or a little bit further away. So like I said in the previous tip, just try to experiment with the lighting you have. And if you're gonna grab lamps around the house, make sure they have similar color temperatures. Otherwise the lighting on the subject is gonna look very mixed and very unbalanced. Unless it's your intention, of course, make sure you keep an eye on that. Tip number 14, don't rely on sunlight too much. Of course you can use the sunlight in your favor when you record in front of a window or outside. However, if you look for consistent shots with consistent lighting, one single cloud can ruin the entire lighting of the setting. Like I said, it can definitely ruin the shot if you're seeking for consistency, so make sure you keep an eye on that. And if you're relying on sunlight or any light for that matter, make sure you don't film the light itself. And I mean the key light, which is pretty much the strongest light that the subject is relying on to be illuminated. Because let's say you're outside and you're filming yourself, just pretend that it's a phone, but let's say you film yourself and you see the sun in the background or behind your head while you talk towards the camera. You will create some sort of silhouette effect of your face because your face becomes very dark and the background becomes very bright because it tries to compensate for the sunlight or the key light coming in. So when you record yourself, make sure you have the sunlight in your face or pointing at the subject instead of on the lens. Now to tip number 15, keep your audio clean. Nowadays, microphones on smartphones are decent enough to use in video recordings. When you record a video, make sure you know where the microphone is located on your phone and make sure your microphone is pointed towards the direction of the sound source. Oh, and also make sure nothing's blocking your microphone and there's nothing stuck in there. So make sure there's no dirt or dust in the input of the microphone. Try to clean it very carefully, don't just grab like a toothpick and then stab your phone to death. It will probably ruin your microphone. So either do it very carefully or just let it be done professionally. Tip number 16, make sure the sound source is close enough to the microphone. For instance, if you record yourself, make sure your microphone picks your voice up correctly. For instance, standing too far away from the microphone can create some sort of echoey sound, and standing or speaking too close to the microphone can result into ASMR effects or some sort of distortion. So just do a couple of test shots and just see and listen to what it sounds like. Tip number 17, try to avoid as much background noise as you can. Even though most smartphones nowadays can handle background noises pretty well, still try to avoid places that have like a lot of sound and that will interfere or disturb the sound source. For instance, if you record in the wind or next to a washing machine that is on, it can disturb and distract the audience. Something that might help, some phones come with earbuds that have like built-in microphones. Some of those earbuds can handle wind much better than the microphones on your phone. So if you have any, just try to experiment experiment with it and do some test shots, and you can plug the earbuds in your ear or just lay the microphone in front of you just to see and listen to what it sounds like. Tip number 18, try to record multiple takes. If you have the time and storage room on your phone, of course, it's always good to have some extra footage as a backup, or not even as a backup, just to have multiple shots for your editing sequence. Because if you recorded multiple takes, you can just simply choose the shots that you like the most. So recording multiple takes definitely helps in the process, and it gives you a lot of room to edit your videos to the video you like. Tip number 19, experiment with what you have. The quality of your video can definitely increase if you add some slow motion footage or time lapses. Obviously, it all depends on the context and your phone's capabilities. Something else that might be very interesting for your footage is recording your videos from different angles. For instance, if you're gonna create a cooking video, I mean, you don't want to see me cook, but maybe you can cook, so if you're cutting vegetables or frying something in the frying pan, it might be interesting to capture the process from different angles. And that might be very interesting if you narrate a cooking recipe. So depending on the context of your video, try to experiment with it. And now to tip number 20, choose equipment above a new camera. This is more like an investment tip, but if you want to invest into better quality videos, I advise you to invest in audio, lighting and tripods before you're gonna get a new camera. And the reason being, most smartphones nowadays have fantastic camera qualities. And like I said before, it doesn't matter what camera you have, if your lighting and audio is very bad, it just ruins the footage. So I advise you to invest in those things first. Just a little disclaimer, I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in a new camera, but if you're on a budget, just work on the equipment around it and then work on a new camera. To help you out a little bit, I put a few equipment recommendations in the description, so feel free to check that out. And tip number 21, of course, edit your videos. This is pretty straightforward, but with editing, if you recorded all of your shots, everything just comes together. You can add music, subtitles, you can create compilations, add filters, whatever you like. This will create that aesthetic and professional look and flow your video can achieve. This will create that in your videos. This will create that quality banger that you need. I'm not gonna go too much on video editing in this video, but I'm gonna create a part 2 on this video about video editing. In that video, I'm gonna use a simple online video editor called VEED. If you go to the website veed.io, you can create an account for free and you can try it out for yourself. I put a link for you in the description, and if you already have a couple of suggestions for the next video about video editing, just let me know in the comments. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope these tips will help you out in the process of creating awesome videos. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section so we can get back to you. If you're interested in the part 2 or any of the videos that we upload, make sure you subscribe to this channel. It will help us out a lot. For now, have an awesome day, good luck, and see you later.